Phoenix at Spark Arena, the home opener for the new look New Zealand Breakers. New head coach, same Parker Jackson Cartwright, off to a hot start, 1-0. And it's the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. The jury is out, the magnifying glass is on, an 0-2 start. Can they fix it up? Internationally, may I add, as we head to New Zealand for this one. But Damon Lowry, I welcome you in. Felix von Hoff here on comms. The Mitsubishi Motors standings, and you are a happy man with the Illawarra Hawks sitting top of the table.
Felix, my man, yeah, everybody got something to say when Damon says the Hawks about to get up and about. But now, good win by the Hawks going to Sydney, taking care of business there. But this game right here is a big one. The Southeast Melbourne Phoenix are 0 for the NBL25 season. They need to right this ship, and the Breakers are back home ready to kick it off for their home fans. Well,
the Breakers staved off a late charge from the Brisbane Bullets, and they get reinforcements for this one with Freddie Gillespie sitting out his one-match ban for headbutt gate.
Freddie copped his sweep, yeah, lost the plot, served his penalty. We can move on. He can get on with his life. Gonna need a big game out of him, but there's a lot of depth there in the big man department with the New Zealand Breakers. So Freddie can just come in and just kind of ease his way into the season.
Certainly showed his prowess on the defensive end during the blitz. We get to see him back in action today. And Nathan Sobey, well, I mentioned the magnifying glass in the preamble, and it's certainly on Nathan Sobey right now. One of the biggest recruits across the entire NBL offseason. Hasn't exactly lived up to his accolades so far.
No, he hasn't. And Nathan Sobey, as we all know, is big time. He's a big-time player, averaged 20 points a game last season, about damn near 50%. And right now, he's 0 for 2 with his team, and he's just not getting off to a good start. So we all know Sobey's talented enough. It's only a matter of time.
Well, it gives me no greater pleasure than to welcome in four-time NBL champion and his first time on the NBL broadcast officially, Tom Abercrombie. Welcome in.
Good evening, fellas. Absolute pleasure to be joining you sidelines this year, bringing you all the action from all the Breakers home games, including here tonight, the first one of the season as they take on the Phoenix. I'll be here all season long, fellas.
Now, it's a new look Breakers lineup, of course, a new coach, only 2 returners from last season. Are we seeing some camaraderie early within the group?
Well, look, the signs are positive after that first game, aren't they? It was a tough pre-season, didn't get a win, almost blew that one in the first game, but built up a really nice lead and played fantastic basketball for 3.5 quarters. They'll look to do the same at home.
Now, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, of course, the opposition, 0-2 to start the year, but losses to the Wildcats and United, nothing to really sneer at.
No, plenty of roster turnover for the Phoenix as well, but they just haven't figured it out quite as quickly as the Breakers seem to have. But as you say, tough first hit-outs against the Perth Wildcats and United, 2 really tough tests against really settled rosters, so tonight will be a different story.
Now, no one has their ear closer to the ground in New Zealand than you do, Tom, and there was something you were telling us off air that might play a bit of an impact tonight.
Yeah, don't ask me for my sources, but I did hear that there was a bit of an illness going through the Breakers ranks this week. As many as 8 players are unavailable for practice midweek, so hopefully they're all healthy and recovered, full of energy for this one tonight.
Well, I won't ask you for your sources, but I'll ask the chef whatever sauce he put on the New Zealand Breakers lunch, because it looks like it's the wrong one. Thank you. We're going to be hearing plenty more from you, Tom. Getting ready to get this one underway. Damon Lowry. Look, as we mentioned, the New Zealand Breakers could have asked for a better start there. Patiri, great signs early. As we look at the starting lineups, Parker Jackson Cartwright, Mojave King, Max Darling, of course, his first full rostered year, Yona Bolden and Sam Menenga, who had his career high in his debut for the New Zealand Breakers in that first game.
Yeah, Parker Jackson Cartwright, we already know what we're going to get from him. Mojave King got off to a great start. Looking for more out of Jonah Bolden. I want to see some of that NBA Jonah Bolden for this NBL25 season. So we'll see how they go at home.
He's certainly the X factor for this team. What is he going to bring out? Of course, he can stroke it from the outside. We've seen that before. But Derek Walton Jr., Nathan Sobey, the magnifying glass, Joe Wieskamp, Matt Hurt, and Jordan Hunter are going to be lining up for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, who, we know how these media cycles work. They're going to be wanting to get their win column open.
It's early days in the season. You don't want to be pushing the panic button in round 2. But in saying that, everybody knows 0-3 is not where you want to be.
Certainly is not. The Phoenix and the New Zealand Breakers head coach Patiri Koppinen, not a huge pedigree coming from behind, but you know what? A head coach has to start somewhere. And although there was a late rush from the Brisbane Bullets, what we saw, the ins and outs in the early going for the Breakers, was good stuff.
What I like about Pettery is he brings that point guard, that European guard to his coaching style. I like the way they playing, getting up and down. Let's see how they go tonight.
And we're underway at Spark Arena, the home opener for the New Zealand Breakers. Sobey, the errant turnover, not the way that he'd want to start this game. Jackson Cartwright will take it the other way. Bolden can't get that one to fall from outside. Sobey works the screen from Hunter. Hunter likes to match up down low and finds the way to the rim.
Nice. Way to be patient and go inside. Jordy kicks it back out, and then he makes a nice little lefty over the right shoulder. Been averaging 17 points in his first 2 games, and he's on fire early.
Jordy Hunter's first season away from the Sydney Kings. 163 games throughout the NBL as Derek Walton Jr. takes it away in the open court. Parker Jackson Cartwright uses those hands, and no luck for the Phoenix.
The human blur, PJC, turns it over, but makes up for it getting back on. It's going to be a great matchup right here between point guards. We see Derek Walton Jr. from the D, Detroit, Michigan. He's a handful.
Handful turns it over. In the back of my Harvey King's away in transition. Can't find anything to his liking. Finds Bolden on the inside. Can't get that one to finish. Is Derek Walton Jr. a member of the Small Man Club?
The Little Big Man Society, you mean?
That's the one.
Yeah, he's in there. He don't know it, but he's in there.
Sobey finds Hunter on the inside. No luck on the finish, but he'll go to the line for 2. Jordan Hunter now, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix are fairly thin on the inside. Of course, their only registered centre in this one is Jordy Hunter. We've heard rumours of Aaron Baines camping around outside the Southeast Melbourne bench.
I think they need to have a serious look at that, too, because even though Jordy is extremely skilled, averaging 17 and 7 a game, he's going up against 4 6'10" dudes. What's the record for the most 6'10" dudes on a team? New Zealand got 4 of them, so Jordy got his hands full tonight, but he's getting off to a good start.
Makes the first. This will be for the first time. Go down to Tom Abercrombie, courtside.
Yeah, guys, fantastic energy in the gym so far here tonight. The Breakers faithful, very eager to see their team. It's been a long wait for the first home game of the season. They're on their feet to start this game, and plenty of noise at Spark Arena.
One of the best atmospheres in the NBL is over there in New Zealand. Jackson Cartwright, one of 2 returners on this roster. Menenga fresh off his career high, 22 points in his debut for the Breakers. Jackson Cartwright finds him on the outside, cashes it.
You got to be careful, Jordy Hunter. Good penetration by PJC. Everybody knows Sam Menenga's going to pop out on those screens. And Jordy, if you're going to play that drop defense, it could be a long night.
Jordy Hunter, he's been active early. Finds Walton Jr. Matt Hurt gets him on their feet on the outside. Feathery floater, gets it to go.
You ain't got to worry about Matt Hurt.
Gives a little bit to the Breakers bench on the way through.
No, you ain't got to worry about him. Matt Hurt knows how to score the ball.
Matt Hurt out of Duke University, the hard show. Bit of errant action for the New Zealand Breakers. It'll go the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix's way.
Sobey's talked Mike Kelly in with the swirly finger, talked him into having a look at this one, I think. Early days for a challenge.
Very early coach's challenge, but Nathan Sobey's been around this league for a long, long time, Damon.
I feel like this is what happens when you're 0-2. When you're starting the season, you're on the road, you kind of want a little bit of everything. Let's see who got the last hand on this one.
So we head to the Amy coach's challenge. Certainly looks like a Jonah Bolden hand.
That's a good call, Sobes. Now that's off Jonah. That ball will be going the other way.
Now you never know. It can go absolutely any which way, but we like to think that that's going to be a successful challenge.
But the very fact that he even challenged it 2.5 minutes into the game just tells me that the Phoenix are just on edge, as they should be.
Amy coach's challenge is successful early. Would that be the earliest one we've seen on the season so far? Only 2 rounds in?
Earliest one we've seen, and I'm 1 for 1. I might just leave it at that.
Tom Abercrombie was keenly tuned into the Breakers timeout there. What did you find, Tom?
I was very keenly tuned in, fellas. I've seen many timeout down that end, and none have been quite as calm as what Petri Koponen just showed me just there. A slightly different tone on the bench, but great to see the Breakers very poised. Sam Menenga was quite vocal, obviously taking a leadership role within the team this year, which is great to see.
Plenty of new faces taking leadership roles, such as the roster turnover throughout this Breakers group. Walton Jr. finds Geordie Hunter on the inside, gets it out to Hurd, who was hot in the throwdown, can't continue the heat in this one. Walton Jr. looks to open his account, can't. Menenga will clean it up.
Be interesting to hear from old Tom. Hey, Tom, when you get a minute, Tom, you know a little thing about leadership, and Sam Menenga tees one up and misses. Who do you think outside of PJC with this new roster is going to take over that leadership, your mantle?
Yeah, well, I think the obvious choice is Mitch McCarron, isn't it? And from all signs in the pre-season, he took that role on and really thrived. I think he's going to be a really important piece for this team, that veteran presence. He's been around the league, and as it has already been spoken about, he's looking really comfortable in Breakers colours.
Anders Savage subs into the game as Mohamed King tries one from outside. Sobey, fresh off a successful challenge. Walton Jr. Geordie Hunter has been the focal point of the offense down low early. Doesn't replicate the success that time around.
So you can look at the roster, you can look what they're doing, right? So you get this early ball screen with Geordie, and if they're going to give that hard defensive show, Derek Walton gets it out of his hands early. Now Geordie becomes the playmaker. You got shooters all around. Wieskamp in the corner, you got Hurt in the corner. Everybody on the floor can shoot. Now we have to rely on Geordie making good decisions.
A flop warning on Menenga as well for that last three-point attempt. Jackson Cartwright coming off a career-high 11 assists. Can't get the mid-range to fall, but it'll be cleaned up by Menenga, who started this season in dominant fashion. Max Darling, his first full year rostered. Can't get that to fall. Another offensive rebound goes bagging, and Angus Glover enters the game for South East Melbourne. Walton finds one he likes at the mid-range. Again, can't get it to drop. And both sides struggling to find the bottom of the net early. Anders Savage can stroke it from out low.
And this is what's good. Good defense by the Southeast Melbourne Phoenixes. When Parker Jackson gets it in transition, he's got to see a wall. He is the human blur as Joe Wieskamp
finally gets one to fall from the outside. And it is an 8-point lead early in the Breakers home opener. A little over 5 minutes remain. So we look at Angus Glover just attacking through the middle of the paint. Hasn't probably seen in that first game, at least, as much court time as he probably would have desired. But he finds Wieskamp, who can stroke it on the outside.
That's the depth of this team. That's the depth of every team in the league. Guys gonna have to just be able to believe in the coach's system, be able to play 4 minutes at a time in a lot of occasions, and just wait your time, be a good teammate while you're on the bench, but then when you come out there, have an immediate impact.
Well, our Breakers legend Tom Abercrombie caught up with Parker Jackson Cartwright a little bit earlier.
First game in New Zealand for the Breakers this season. How are you feeling? What's been the message to the team as one of the only 2 players coming back from last year?
Yeah, well, personally, I'm feeling great being back, some familiarity within this building, these fans. So just to cherish this moment and have fun.
And you personally looking very comfortable out in the court. Just talk to me a little bit about the difference in mindset coming into a season, having already played a year in the NBL instead of coming in fresh. How does that change your approach to the game?
Yeah, every year is different. You know, you have to keep that same fire in whatever makes you go. You have to keep that because every year changes, and there's a plethora of good players. So just to come out and play hard.
And we missed Freddie Gillespie last week. His first game in Breakers colours tonight. What can we expect from the big fella?
Well, Freddie's had a good week of practice. You know, he just fits so well with this group, and he's ready to come out in his first game.
Well, Freddie Gillespie enters the game for the first time, of course, missing the opener with a 1-game suspension after a headbutt on Sean Bruce. Showed great defensive signs, Damon Lowry, throughout that preseason.
Yeah, defense is what he hangs his hat on. That's how he makes his living. But I feel like he can be more of an offensive threat. And sometimes a lot of guys, they come to Australia with defensive reputations. They come here and all of a sudden they open up a little bit of the offensive package. I like to see what Gillespie can do close to the basket.
Glover on the outside, finds Hurd on the inside. Spins back base. Strong move, gets it to fall, and the lead continues to open up for South East Melbourne, off to the start they would have desired.
Absolutely great start. They obviously locking up on defense. New Zealand switched that ball screen. They go inside to Matt Hurt. The guy can score from inside and out.
Jackson Cartwright get to open up his scoring account. Mooney can't get that ball. Gillespie will get down on the boards. Darling will find it again. The second attempt is good.
Max Darling had an unusual stat last week, that first game. Started, but didn't take a shot. I don't think I've ever seen that. I think even Warren Giddy shot the ball occasionally. But a great energy guy, great piece, great defensive energy, and there he is on the glass.
Both teams starting to get into their benches now. A little under 4 minutes remain in the first term. Mooney finds Gillespie in the middle, gets it back out. Mooney will get it again up top. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Jackson Cartwright gets in up, under, and good. He's a superstar, Parker Jackson Cartwright, an MVP nominee last year.
Just settle down.
And tensions just boiling over a touch. And who is it? None other than Freddie Gillespie in the middle of it.
Everybody calm down. Just take a deep breath. Don't need nothing crazy to happen, but a great job by PJC making something out of nothing. Here's the vice president of the Little Big Man Society.
Who'd be the president there?
Oh, that's my man down there in Tasmania, Jordan Crawford.
Jordan Crawford, of course, coming off a great game himself in their big win over Melbourne United. 6-point lead to the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Owen Foxwell sums into the game for such a young player, shows so much poise.
I'm not sure what's happening with Ben Air. I don't know if he's hurt, I'm not sure, but Owen Foxwell is getting those backup guard minutes, and he was great in the last game.
Sobey finds the next star, and Lewis, and Gillespie throws it out.
Come on now, read the scouting report, Malik. Freddie ain't having none of that nonsense.
Have a look at the Amy replay here. Malik Lewis goes upstairs, and Gillespie just goes one step further.
You just got to know where he is at all times. If you go anywhere near the basket, he is a shot blocker. Did you hear that Mexican music? Did you hear that Mexican music, Felix? My man's on the floor. Kareem Lopez. Hola, mi amigo.
The next star battle between Lewis and Kareem Lopez, of course. Gillespie just getting a little overzealous there with Sobey in the corner. Kareem Lopez, of course, eligible for the draft the year after next. Plenty of time to develop from the young star, but the reports coming out of the Breakers is that he has some superstar potential.
Yes, absolutely. He's going to be here for at least 2 seasons. 17 years old. He might still fall asleep in the car on the way home from the game. He's only a young dude, but he got a hell of a lot of talent.
Glover struggles to inbound. The pressure again from the Breakers forces the turnover. Mooney. Yet to open his scoring account as well. Antisevich finds the mismatch. A little further out than the block than he preferred. He's going to work his way down. Finds McCarron on the outside. And Antisevich just working the mismatch with the younger Owen Foxwell.
And that's what's going to happen. I mean, you look at the size on the floor right now for the Phoenix. There is no center. There's no center out there. So, Tom, what do you reckon about the size out there on the floor? What do you got?
Yeah, well, what I do see out on the floor at the moment for the Breakers is entire bench units come into the game early on in this one. Coach Kopp showing a lot of faith in these young guys to come in and get the job done in this first quarter, and the energy's been good from them. Good to see Kareem Lopez. He didn't get a huge amount of opportunity in that first game. He's out there early in this one getting his opportunity.
McCarron will draw the foul. We speak about a young unit. McCarron playing the leadership role on the floor right now. But Terry Coppin, of course, we mentioned in the pre-game, coming into his first season as the New Zealand Breakers coach. His style, it's hard to read into much because he's really only coached on a camp basis and with a much younger generation than what we've seen from a lot of head coaches coming into this league. But as we said, if you're a head coach, you have to start somewhere. And Matt Walsh and the the Breakers' ownership have really taken a risk, and from what we've seen, appears to be one that's going to pay off.
I mean, the smallest of sample sizes, one actual game, which they almost lost if there's another minute probably left on the clock. But I like the style, though. Now, he's a rookie coach, but he's a guard. And I'm partial to coaches who are guards. He has a feel for the game. I think he's a player's coach. As we see Matt Mooney get himself a steal.
Sobey just continuing to struggle here to fit in to this Southeast lineup. Not the start that he would have wanted. Mooney, that's his shot. Front rim. And Sobey will take it away. Avoids the contact, spin, up and under, gets it to Lewis, who's going to draw the contact there, and one for the young next star.
Good push by Sobes in transition. Gets the steal. This is when he's at his most lethal. Downhill in transition, good spin move, drops the late dime. Malik gets the and one. This is an interesting lineup, Phoenix on the court for the Breakers. You got some bigs. Grant Antisevich can shoot, but you got Lopez out there, he's big. You got Gillespie, he's big. Who's the shooters? You're going to have to get Matt Mooney open for some shots, because even though it's been one game, he is shooting 50% from downtown.
Mooney had some big performances again in the preseason, just looking for that to translate into the official stuff at the moment. Finds himself a mid-range. Again hits the front rim, and Gillespie goes upstairs, but he's out-rebounded by Geordie Hunter. Sobey pulls from deep, gives it up to Geordie Hunter, who just tries to use the full strength, and Gillespie plays it smart.
What's the odds of Geordie Hunter headbutting Freddie Gillespie in the chest? I thought Sobey should have pulled up on that one, but actually, no, that was more of an elbow in the chest. That's the thing sometimes, you know, you're hitting the bigs, rolling to the basket. I know Geordie's a great roller, a great finisher, but sometimes they run in kind of blind to the basket, they get in the ball, and it's just not, I like to see him get the ball directly on the block and let his footwork, let his skill set play a factor.
Minute and a half remaining, 7-point lead to Southeast Melbourne in a low-scoring first quarter. Gillespie can't get that to fall, and the shooting woes continue for both teams as Nathan Sobey runs into trouble in the backcourt. Antisevich comes up with it. King through the middle, up, under. And Kareem Lopez opens his account.
Arriba, andale. Good job, Kareem. That's his first NBL25 bucket, and it won't be the last.
Sobey from deep. Still can't get it to fall. And Hurt opens his account again from the outside. The Duke Devils product. McCarron finds Gillespie in a similar spot. Sobey takes it away. Gets out into the open court, goes upstairs. Looks to have punctured a tire on the way through, but he still got there.
He still got ups, we know that, but that time, like you say, had a bit of a flat. But good defensive intensity, because we, meaning you and everybody else, been bagging Phoenix defense, and right now holding the Breakers to 11 points in the quarter is fantastic.
Nathan Sobey, of course, struggling on the offensive end, has had a couple of good defensive plays so far. And this one will round out the first quarter. A 10-point lead to the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, and the Breakers with a little bit to work out on the offensive end.
If your side wins, you get prizes in your side only. So this, what's on you, Team Ketchup? Team Mayo? Ketchup? No! Ketchup? No! Build that burger in 3, 2, 1, go! So first, obviously, it's the patty. Well, it's about even. We've got the two chefs, we've got the onion. The onion's going on. Team Ketchup, what do you think? Your team's winning! Roll the tomato. Tomato and mayo. And obviously, we need to develop and awareness. Your winners today, Team Meadow. And that means Team Meadow is getting the prizes thanks to Burger King.
Welcome back to Spark Arena. A 10-point lead at the end of the first quarter for South East Melbourne, who started their season 0-2, looking to get back into that winners list. And the Breakers, well, not the offensive first quarter that they would have desired, Damon Lowry.
No, it's not, but it's exactly the start that the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix were after. I mean, 11 points in a quarter, that's sensational defense, and everybody's been talking about it all, you know, for the last week. So to see them come out like this with that kind of intensity, that kind of conviction, it's encouraging.
Jackson Cartwright. Menenga's hit one from the outside. Lopez works to the middle. Woes continue from the outside for the Breakers, who hustle to get that one back in. And the Breakers will retain possession, but down to you, Tom Abercrombie.
Yeah, 1 for 10 from the Breakers from the three-point line to start this one. We had our questions in the preseason about offensively just how they were going to find their scoring outside of PJC. He's going to get his, he's going to find his shot, but who else is going to step up? Mojave King on that occasion steps up and knocks down a much-needed three, but offensively, I think they just need to settle down a little bit. First game at home, a few nerves, a little bit of a shaky start for the Breakers.
Well, we welcome you into commentary, Tom Abercrombie. That's usually how it works if you point out an underwhelming status. Sobey gets it deep into the middle, gets it back, and still just finding a lid on the rim to begin NBL25.
Yeah, shots ain't dropping just yet, but if anybody knows, it's Tom. Tom, what you think about all the depth? I mean, the Breakers sometimes look top-heavy. They got a lot of combinations that Coach Copeland can go to. What do you think about so many guys coming in so frequently and trying to just settle into a groove with your main five?
Yeah, well, it's certainly a change from the past, isn't it? Coach Motimayor of recent years was not as frequent in changing his rotations, but Coach Copeland showing a lot of faith in his bench, as we've said, and I think it's going to pay dividends later down the track. These guys are going to develop confidence. Speaking of confidence, Sam Meninga has been playing with a lot early on in this season, but you never know when that depth is going to get tested, so it's a great experience for everyone coming in and getting some minutes early on.
Geordie Hunter on the low block. Finds the matchup with the equally strong Menenga. Fades away, can't get it to fall. And PJC will take it the other way. King.
Okay. Now that right there. Yes, Geordie Hunter went down low, didn't get the bucket, didn't finish, but that is Breaker basketball on a miss. If PJC can push that thing up the floor like that, guys can get up and spot out in those corners. Mojave King hit his second triple. You got Matt Mooney that can shoot the triple. That's going to be Breaker dangerous basketball.
Tangerine timeout for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix as the Breakers have cut this lead to 4 points. And Tom Abercrombie caught up with head coach Mike Kelly a little bit earlier.
And a lot's been said about Nathan Sobey during the week. Obviously had his struggles in those first two games. How do you get him going as a coaching staff, or is it a matter of just relying on him and his experience as a player to sort of figure it out as he goes along?
I think it's a team effort. You know, Sobes cares, and we want to see him be his best. So watching film, talking through things, and letting him know that we have his back, just like everybody on the team, and knowing also that when he gets going, we get going. I think he will take that as a positive and be in attack mode.
And just talk about the challenge of New Zealand tonight, obviously coming off a great win against Brisbane. You've got to start Parker Jackson Cartwright, the head of the Snake, but what kind of challenges do they pose?
Yeah, you know, I think they showed what kind of team they can be in that first game. They've kind of had constant improvement since the blitz, and they shot the ball really well. Parker got wherever he wanted to go. Mooney got wherever he wanted to go. So you know, we got to slow some guys down defensively and then attack them on the offense.
Nathan Sobey, he's 1 for 4. Like, I don't know what it feels like to be a 20-point scorer. I don't know. But sometimes you can get a little bit too much in your head. And I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but right now what I like, the fact that he's only 1 for 4, he's playing defense. You don't always have to score to play good. You don't always have to shoot good to play good. I like what he's doing on the defensive end, and the offense is going to eventually come. He's just got to trust it.
Certainly finding other ways to get involved in the game is Nathan Sobey, a stalwart of the NBL for so long. He gets it again here. Finds Hurt, works to the fadeaway. Can't get that to fall. PJC. So quick off the dribble. Lopez works on Hunter from the outside. Kareem Abdul-style hook shot is no good.
Sweep and hook, no bueno for Kareem. And now they got to get back in transition because Derek Walton Jr., he's equally as dangerous in the open court.
Both teams just finding a lid on the rim from the three-point line in this one. 3 of 13 for the Breakers, 2 of 6. Make that 3 of 14 for New Zealand from outside.
I know this is that era.
Jackson Cartwright pressures Walton Jr., works in transition, can't get the bucket, but he'll go to the line. One of the more pesky defenders in the league, Damon Lowry.
A known thief. Guard your personal items around this dude.
Look at the Amy replay here. Tough to get past at the best of times.
Sorry, Felix. Yep, picked his pocket. But I'm looking at the Breakers' offense, and if they're going to be running these middle ball screens in the first 5 seconds of the shot clock, and everybody's flaring and popping out, all we're going to see is three-point shots. They got to find another way. If they're not scoring in transition, they're not shooting threes, they got to find other ways to score.
Just the 18 points 3 minutes in, but luckily for them on the defensive end, been able to hold Southeast to just the 21. And it's a very Parker Jackson Cartwright dominant offense, as you mentioned, working on those on-ball screens.
I mean, he's got to adjust as well, because last year he could throw the ball to Anthony Lamb. You know, he has so many other weapons around him that could just get their own individual buckets. But now he's got to
Hunter through the middle and throws it down. Defensive breakdown for the Breakers, and Hunter takes full advantage.
The opportunistic Jordy Hunter.
Jordy Hunter, 6 points and 8 rebounds. Little under 7 minutes to go in the second quarter as PJC finds it from the mid-range, and Jonah Bolden cleans it up.
Now that's what's going to have to happen, because Jonah just can't always live on the three-point line. He's 6'10", 6'11". Parker Jackson's going to take a lot of shots in that mid-range, and there's going to be some offensive rebound opportunities.
Wieskamp can't make it 2 for 2 for him. PJC a little too quick on the outside. Finds Menenga, the strong body cutting through the middle, and he'll find the and one. And the Breakers with a chance to take the lead.
Wow, just like that. Quickly erased a 10-point deficit in just 3 minutes and 48 seconds.
You look at Jordy Hunter just faking it out. Such a mobile big on the outside, and you can see why Sydney was so disappointed to lose him and Southeast Melbourne was so happy to get him.
Absolutely. A guy with that skill set, they're rare. I mean, there's a lot of 6'10" guys running around NBL25, but none as athletic and nimble as Jordy Hunter.
A great battle of the bigs here as Menenga misses that free throw between Menenga and Jordy Hunter. Sobey works on PJC. Finds Jordy Hunter again in the middle. And Sobey with a chance to get his three-point account underway. Still can't get it to fall. Derek Walton Jr. will press through the middle, uses the body. And Jordy Hunter will clean it up with his 9th rebound of the first half.
That's what I'm talking about. So it's a lot of bigs in the league, not always getting the ball where they would prefer to get it. So sometimes you got to take it upon yourself and just go get the misses and finish them.
PJC likes the matchup on the bigger Hunter, and Darling gets into the paint. He'll go to the free throw line.
Darling said, if you thought I was going to go 2 games in a row without shooting, you kidding yourself. As Derek Walton gets to the hoop, tries to initiate the contact and draw the foul, to no avail.
Tough move by Derek Walton Jr. Maybe unlucky not to come up with the whistle, but Jordy Hunter with a remarkable 9 rebounds in the first half.
And like, how many post-ups has he actually got? I mean, this is the era that we living in where it's a lot of ball screens, a lot of dribble handoffs happening. The bigs got to do a lot of rolling. And then they got to be decision makers. So in that rare occasion that they do get a post-up, they got to make the most of the opportunities. But at least Jordy is showing he can still be effective just cleaning up the glass.
Darling can't get the first free throw to fall.
Still one. One. Hey.
I got to ask Tom Abercrombie. We've combined for quite a few championships, me and him. Tom, what's it like, man? Tell me the truth, man. Retirement, what's it feel like?
You're right, David. We have combined for about 4, I believe. Retirement's been good, mate. I was always a little bit apprehensive of how I'd feel coming into Spark Arena tonight, but very happy sitting here chatting to you blokes and just watching the boys go to work. I've enjoyed myself, a bit of extra time with the family. And just watching some hoops now, being a fan of the NBL, how good is it to just sit back and enjoy it?
Yeah, certainly enjoy that little behind-the-back step back from Matt Hurt. The Southeast, just with the slim lead here. Jonah Bold finds PJC on the back cut. Great point guard matchup, PJC, Derek Walton Jr. Walton Jr. gets the better of it that time.
Tough offense. Started with a ball screen. Jonah turned down a 3-ball.
Sobey deep into the paint, finds Wieskamp. The rarity cutting through the paint, he'll go to the line.
Joe Wieskamp, make no mistakes about it, can shoot the rock. Hasn't had many looks tonight. Not yet anyway early in this game, but if he gets his feet set, he gets open. He's another one of these guys that can just shoot the ball. There's a lot of weapons out there for the Phoenix, but it's all going to have to start with the defense. If they can get stops, get out in transition, Sobey gets on the rim, Walton penetrates, guys all of a sudden start getting easier shots, it relieves the pressure.
Well, Nathan Sobey, while he struggled to find himself on the offensive end, his penetration and deep dish has been pretty impressive so far. So he is finding his ways to get into the game. As McCarron looks to steady the ship for the Breakers, who fought back from a 10-point deficit. Now the lead back out to 4 for Southeast. Mooney gets it back.
It's too hard. All this is too hard.
Works it on Lewis. Up and under, can't find the cutting Darling in the corner. And a strong defensive possession for Southeast Melbourne, who are looking to regain a little bit of momentum on this game.
I think the poor offense is making the defense look better than what it probably actually is. You're running these ball screens. If Jonah Bold is going to pop out, and if you don't shoot it and you just kick it on, then what are we doing? Then you get late in the shot clock, and now you got to try to make something happen, and it's just playing into Phoenix's hands.
Glover into the game for the Phoenix. Gillespie working, diving down low. Glover is cash from the outside, can't get that one to fall. And Darling comes up with a hotly contested rebound. Gillespie. McCarron gets deep into the paint, gets the floater.
Nice runner. We got to get some buckets going, as if I'm on the team. But good job by Mitch McCarron by getting into the key.
Darling, strong defense on the smaller Walton. Gillespie tips it away, gets out into transition, and the clear path. Foul, he'll be going to the line.
Did we just see Max Darling first with the defense? We didn't see it earlier. They switched. He guarded Derek Walton Jr., then he guarded Hurt. Now Freddie Gillespie gets the steal, gets out in transition. These are two mobile defensive bigs. And when you ask Sam Meninga, they don't make 6'10" dudes like they used to.
Gillespie goes to the line, the brain fade from Derek Walton Jr. there, making it very easy for the official to wish for the intentional. Gets the second to fall. 1 point lead to Southeast Melbourne, a little over 3 minutes remain in the first half, and Nathan Sobey, as you see there, still looking to find his way into the game and into this season.
Somebody got to come to the ball.
5-second inbound count. The coach killer. Southeast Melbourne just applying the pressure there after the brain fade from Walton Jr.
This is what I don't like as a point guard, taking the ball out of bounds.
Foxwell, a young player that shows so much poise. Gets it to Hurt. In and out with the fadeaway. McCarron finds Bolden on the outside, looking to open his three-point account. Can't get it to fall.
You see what I mean, Felix? Ball screen, one pass, shoot a three. Now, if you don't make that shot, you back on defense. You just got there. I like to see the Breakers' his own Foxwell attacks the rim, gets himself to the free throw line. The Breakers' offense is terminal. I get running ball screens. I ran lots of them in my playing days, but to do it in the first 5 seconds as opposed to doing it later in the shot clock, nobody else is touching the ball, and it just becomes a three-point shooting contest.
The Breakers just shooting 18% from the three-point line so far. The Phoenix 22%, not too much better as Foxwell can't get the first free throw to fall.
Owen Foxwell, for everybody that knows him around here, these Melbourne streets, these Eltham streets, he has no fear.
Certainly showing his worth both across the preseason, late in the last year as well. Looking to earn more minutes as this season goes on. McCarron baseline. Gets it back to Mooney up the top, who's had the ball in his hands late in the shot clock a couple of times now, yet to find success with it. And that continues there in Wieskamp. The up and under dangerous play, but he's come up okay. And is fired up on the offensive end, the errant pass. And we look at this dangerous Malik Lewis.
Malik took his legs out, but then broke his fall. That's a good teammate for you.
He giveth and he taketh. Malik Lewis, a lucky one there.
I'll do the same for you, Felix.
Just a little shot clock error looking to get fixed here. Shot clock's going to be pushed to 13 seconds.
What is the record for the lowest scoring half by 2 teams? We are sitting on 55 points with 2 minutes to go.
Certainly not a record that you want to break, but for both of these teams have come up lucky that it's not a one-sided affair with both teams shooting poorly. And Hurt with another strong move on the low block. He gets the and one to go.
Pick 13.
It's not that complicated. Angus Glover saw that Matt Hurt had a mismatch down there on the box. Dump it inside to the big fella. Simple basketball.
Got a wide variety of moves on that low block. Matt Hurt, he can hit you with the fadeaway, he can up and under and take it to the middle. It'll be interesting to see how much Southeast continue to utilize that as the season goes on. McCarron. Mooney gets to the mid-range, can't find Gillespie through the middle as we go down to Tom Abercrombie.
Look, we mentioned it earlier in this one. The Breakers are at their best when they're out in transition and pushing the basketball, and they just slow down in the second quarter here. They're playing slow, everything's slow in the half court. I think they need to find that pace, and things change a lot, obviously, when Parker Jackson Cartwright is out of the game, and a lot of that responsibility is coming on Matt Moody right now, and he's been unable to score in this first half, just having his struggles at the offensive end.
Tom, what would you say right now, this last minute and 42 seconds ago? Who's the go-to guy? What are you trying to run? What are you trying to get? What kind of shot are you trying to get to close out the half?
Well, I think they've made the right move. They're bringing Parker Jackson Cartwright back into the game for the Breakers. They need to get the ball back in his hands and play with that speed I'm talking about. But Mooney needs to get going too, because if the Breakers are going to win this one tonight, they need more than just Parker to get going. So Mooney, look for him to get going. And for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix as well, they're having their own offensive struggles. They need to find things. Keep going to Matt Hurt down low, as you're talking about. He's looked good when he's got the ball in the post and been aggressive.
There we go.
Mooney opens his account. Showed signs a little bit a la Rodney Clark in the preseason in a couple of those blitz games. Of course, a big name to live up to. Was an elite scorer within this league, but the way he moves, the way he shoots when he's on, he's very streaky, but you know, a guy that you could see putting up some big numbers at different times for the Breakers as Nathan Sobey subs back into the game.
I see the similarity, but
We're going to need
Clark,
to see a little
man,
bit more. We're going to need to see a little bit more, but the mechanics are there. Certainly still remains a solid pickup for the Breakers in the off-season. Sobey gets the match up on Gillespie, keeps the hands off, fades away in the corner and gets that one to fall.
Wow.
A much-needed bucket for Nathan Sobey.
I saw Freddie Gillespie actually defensive slide with both hands behind his back.
Textbook move in the feet.
All Sobey needs is one of those to go in. It could lead to an onslaught, but it's only a minute to go.
PJC. Breakers need him to fire, and he does right there. There will be a lot of onus on Parker Jackson Cartwright this year to perform if the Breakers want to be able to stack these wins together as he pressures Foxwell in the backcourt. Sobey gets into the paint, finds the and one. And Nathan Sobey has had a struggle to begin this NBL25 season, but he's found himself on these last two possessions.
He has not forgot how to score the ball. Gillespie, look at that, puts his hands behind his back as if Sobey needs any more of an invitation. Take that midi in your eye, and then he follows it up with a hard finish to the basket with the left. Attacking the rim, mid-range shot, that's all it takes.
Nathan Sobey finding himself before our eyes. And we'll have a listen into Mike Kelly in this timeout. A 4-point lead for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. The Breakers, they rubbed out a 10-point deficit.
Our defense has been consistently good. Everybody's hitting and going, getting the board. We're staying in blacks, okay? Keep talking bigs. Keep weakening if we can and icing. Offensively, we're going straight step-ups. Straight, if Gillespie's back in there, Sobes, you got it, okay? We're spaced. All right, let's do it anyway. Let's do it anyway. We're going straight step up for Sobes. We space and we attack. If we get the switch, we space, boomerang, get downhill. Here we go.
Simple basketball. Credit to it. Mike said defense has been great. Everybody's tagging him in. We're rebounding. Now you're getting out in transition. He's calling for these step-up screens. So Sobey in transition, he's going to get a step-up pick somewhere just after half court. And him coming downhill, he's going to be a decision maker, especially with the last 44 seconds to go in the half. Possibly a 2-for-1 situation when they get the ball back.
Here we go. One shot here, let's go. One only. Hustle.
Nathan Sobey just looking to complete the back end of his and one before that timeout. And as we heard Mike Kelly, as you mentioned in that timeout, step up screen, get the ball in Sobey's hands and let him work. So he understands his superstar might just be finding his feet. Completes the and one.
Mike Kelly yelled out ice too. So that means they're going to not let Parker Jackson use the ball screen. They're going to send it away from us, so we're going to see. Owen Foxwell don't let him use it.
Menenga looks to attack her through the middle. Big body steps through. Too big, too strong, Sam Menenga.
Nice finish by Sam, mixing his game up.
1 second differential between the shot and game clock. Nathan Sobey scored the last 5 points for Southeast Melbourne. Can he build on it here? Straight through the lane. Great kick out to Lewis in the corner. Can't get the ball, but Hurdle come up with the board. Menenga finally, and the clock will run out. A 3-point lead to Southeast Melbourne, who wrestled that one back after the Breakers clawed back from 10 down at quarter time. Great signs for the Phoenix with Nathan Sobey finding his feet late in the quarter. And for the Breakers, well, it's been tough outside of the three-point line, Damon Lowry.
It has not been an offensive masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a defensive grind, and we got a desperate Southeast Melbourne Phoenix team that does not want to come back to Australia 0-3.
3-point lead to the Phoenix. Down to you, Tom Abercrombie.
Yeah, I'm joined here by Geordie Hunter. Geordie, 10 rebounds in that first half defensively. You guys were a lot more improved. Have you been happy with that end?
Yeah, we're trying to take steps towards being a, you've got to be a defensive-minded team to be successful in this league, and we have to keep taking strides in that direction. We'll be happy with that scoreline, and I think we're getting good shots, so they'll start dropping.
Yeah, obviously you're getting good shots. Been a bit of a struggle for both teams offensively. What do you got to do better?
You know, it's going to be a grindy game down here, so we're going to embrace that. We're going to do our best to continue to just fight for good shots and get stops.
Good luck, mate.
Thanks, Tommy.
Geordie Hunter flirting with a first half double-double. 8 points, 10 rebounds. The Southeast Melbourne Phoenix lead by 3. The halftime show up next.
Let's hear it for your NBL25 Breakers. And it's time for BNZ. They are proud to support the BNZ Breakers along with the
A war of attrition so far. The Southeast Melbourne Phoenix lead by 3. It was a 10-point lead at quarter time as Jonah Bolden goes upstairs. The Breakers fought their way back into this one. And it was Nathan Sobey who has taken 3 games, Damon Lowry, but he looks to be finding his feet late in that first half, which is critical for Southeast Melbourne.
He's finding his way slowly but surely. He's focusing on the defensive end. The Southeast Melbourne Phoenix right now, they're desperate. You gotta throw out all individual probably aspirations. You just want to make sure you focus as a defensive unit. They've been giving up over 100 points per game, and that's not going to win in this league. So far so good. The Phoenix holding to the Breakers at 33 points.
Huge roster turnover for both of these teams in the offseason, but one of the best pickups looks to be Matt Hurt as we look at the Hungry Jacks highlights here. He can do it from the outside, he can do it from the inside, he can up and under, he can fade away, he can do it all right now, and he's coming up big when they really, really need him.
In a game like this where nobody can really hit threes, the 3 ball is not dropping for anybody. You need somebody that can go inside, mix it up. I know this era don't like the mid-range game, but this dude got one of them. Take that one-legged step back in your eye, take this body work, bucket and one. Matt Hurt is balling right now, and he's giving Phoenix other scoring options.
We look at the Blackmore shot chart right here. As you can see, doing it from all and every which part of the floor. 12 points, 5 of 10 from the field, 1 of 3 from the three-point line, which is 33%, is basically Steph Curry numbers from what we've seen so far, Damon.
Hey, look, speaking from a 31% career three-point shooter, I wish I could shoot 33%.
Well, I'll tell you what, someone who knows how to knock one down and someone who knows how to do it in Spark Arena is Tom Abercrombie. What have you seen for us so far?
Well, fellas, it looks like someone's tightened up the screws on these rims in Spark Arena in the off-season. Both teams struggling to shoot the ball, as you mentioned. No problems for Matt Hurd. He's been fantastic, and both teams have had their moments. But offensively, still struggling to find their identity. Both the Breakers and the Phoenix, with that roster turnover, are just looking a little unsettled at that end of the floor.
Who do you like so far, Tom? From either team, you're sitting over there as one of the most decorated players in NBL history. Who do you like out there right now? Has anybody surprised you?
I really like Geordie Hunter. I think he's had a fantastic first half. 8 points and 10 rebounds for the big fella. One of the new recruits for the Phoenix. He's done some great work down low when he's got position. But he's in that top spot, playmaking a lot of the time too, finding himself on those short rolls from Derek Walton Jr. and from Nathan Sobey. And he's done a great job, as we mentioned, on the boards, been everywhere for his 10 rebounds in that first half.
Well, Tom, thank you for joining us. Plenty more to come from you. The second half is not far away. South East Melbourne lead by 3.
Let's see if Mo can do the very athletic skills of me. Let's count it down. 3, 2, 1. Without the defense of Kahubangi, that would have been money. Big thanks to BNZ. For the BNZ Kahu 6th of October at NBL25 Stadium. Get your tickets.
Neither can I. Bring it. Hello? Now, Susan, could you see any difference between the two networks?
Not a single thing.
Exactly.
Take our blind network test, and if you can't see why millions of Kiwis rely on the country's fairest telco, get your money back.
Good health changes everything. So don't accept age as a limit or a bad night's sleep. Feel strong inside and out. Keep learning new moves. And if you want to stop, stop. Good health changes everything. Blackbeard's 90 years of natural health expertise.
In Utah, snow campaigns are closer than anywhere else. But somehow, on this ocean of snow, it's anything but cold. Plan your trip at visitutah.com.
Father Big approved BNZ Breakers birthday.
Joining the Breakers all the way from Mexico, he is one of the brightest young prospects in international basketball. Introducing Karim
Lopez to the rim.
Not eligible for the draft until 2026, we get to enjoy watching this next star for the next 2 years. Offensively, Karim is a smooth operator who can handle the rock, get above the rim, and knock it down from long range. Having developed his game in Europe over the past 2 years, Karim comes to the Next Star program as a projected top pick in the 2026 draft. Potential doesn't get much bigger than this. Remember the name Karim Lopez.
Welcome back to Spark Arena, and that man right there, Karim Lopez, bound for the NBA. And you know who else is bound for the NBA, Damon Lowry?
Who?
The entire Breakers team.
All
because
of them?
they head off, all of them. They miss the next 2 rounds of NBL action to play 3 NBL times NBA preseason games right there. But it still remains, how much is it going to impact? There's always been issues on the back end for teams that go away in the start of the season and come back. Jet lag. Runs in the legs. It's a tough proposition.
I'm in that line that says I don't like the idea mid-season. I love the idea as a concept, but sometimes it can be very detrimental, as we know. But we'll see. I know Tom Abercrombie, he did it too, didn't he?
Oh, he did. He did plenty. He did everything you could do.
Tom, we're talking about you, man. What'd you think about that trip?
You're right, fellas. I did that trip plenty of times, and it's an incredible experience getting over there and getting to play against some of these NBA teams. But it is tough and it is taxing. I remember last year we did it at the start of the season. We spent almost 2 weeks over there, and coming back, you use up your bye week as well, which is really important to note. The Breakers have a tough enough travel schedule as it is. Adding that on top of it just makes it so much more tougher, makes this game so much more important too. How much would they love to go over there on the back of 2 wins to start the season and go over there with a whole bunch of momentum and a positive shift in attitude that's going to be so important. But it's going to be a really interesting one to watch, how they come back from that and how they react to the fatigue.
A blessing and a curse going over there at 2-0, Damon Lowry, because you want to capitalise on the momentum with a great start for a group that hasn't really been together. But there is also the fact that the Breakers, only 2 returning players from the previous season. Is this trip, this road trip, if you say, a chance for the team to get to know each other a little bit more, and they need all the experience they can get?
100%. These guys get to go on the road, get to play all these top-notch NBA teams. Now, some of these guys might not trot out their main NBA guys, of course, but they might get a few minutes. But that long flight, good chance to bond, go over some little, get to know each other a little bit better. So hopefully from that regard, it'll be good. And it's going to be Taco Tuesday when they get there.
Well, judging after Tom Abercrombie mentioned that there was a bit of foodborne illness going out between this group throughout the week, maybe they just want to relax a little bit on the Taco Tuesday.
No, I'm talking about Taco Falls, man.
Taco that's
Falls.
right, Taco Falls. How'd that one go over my head?
Come on, man.
It didn't go over his head because he's 7'6". He's going to be joining. Taco Falls is 7'6" centre for the Breakers games against these NBA teams. So be interesting to see. And you know what? The Breakers have gone over there and come back with the guys before. So a lot to play out there, but a lot to play out here at Spark Arena. A 3-point lead for South East Melbourne. Sobey dared to shoot it by Menenga, takes it to the rim instead and gets that to fall, picks up where he left off in the first half.
They saw Sobey had the hot hand finishing that first half, gave him a double drag ball screen, picks up his left hand.
Too quick.
As PJ gets on the rim, but that is a good start by the Phoenix by identifying Sobey, but then they got to get back on defense, Phoenix, because the human blur ain't messing around.
It's been the story of the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix over the past couple of seasons, doing on the offensive end, but just struggling to convert in that defensive style of basketball.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to run the exact same play again. Let's not get cute. Back to Sobey, double ball screen. They're switching it. Sam Menenga jumped out on him. I like that matchup on the left side of the floor for Sobey. Let's do it again.
Sam Menenga almost dared him to shoot the 3 as well with a little bit of a hand there. Sobey turns it down and gets to the rack, but this man right here, Parker Jackson Cartwright, MVP nominee last year. 11 assists, a career high in his first game. 2 for 7 so far. As Sobey again gets into the paint, and one. Nathan Sobey is back.
It ain't complicated. Sobey ain't forgot who he is, everybody. Yeah, he had 2 games that he really wished he probably didn't have, but this is Sobey basketball right here. And good job by Mike Kelly and the Phoenix teammates for putting him into his areas of strength. Now he's going to be making plays. They have to readjust how they guard that. Sometimes coaches get too cute and try to outthink themselves. Do the exact same thing again.
Nathan Sobey, 11 points, 5 for 9 from the field. One of the most important things coming into this game was getting Nathan Sobey to find his feet. And he's done that now, 12 points, a 6-point lead. The Breakers looking to wrestle back momentum. Jackson Cartwright works off the screen. Gets Sobey up in the air, finds Darling on the way through, the big body. Gets that one to fall, and he's collected Geordie Hunter on the way through.
Straight up like that, 2 bodies.
PJC just making something happen. He's going to ball screen you to death. Yeah, it just was unfortunate, not on purpose, but Darling did go through with the elbows and clipped him somewhere around the face.
Head eye contact.
Incidental.
Oh, they have the best look on that one.
Will they review it off the court? Will they review it?
It's act of violence.
It's not an act of violence.
I'm not sure we're going to be able to get the act of violence there. Max Darling may be a big guy, but might be stretching there as Sobey gets into the paint, finds Walton Jr. who gives it away. And Jackson Cartwright, too quick, too good, lays it in.
They ran the same play that time, but that time Sobey rejected the screen and went right. I just would have came off on the left hand for the third time in a row to see what happened, but it resulted in a turnover, and now PJC is out there looking like Usain Bolt.
Sobey looking to continue the hot hand, runs out. Menenga up top. Darling, fresh off a hard bucket down low, can't get that to fall. And Mike Kelly implores Nathan Sobey to push it. Sobey looking to ride this hot hand out. 0 for 2 in his last 2 attempts.
It ain't hot no more. Just like that, it's got cold, so we got to move the ball.
Jonah Bolden.
And Jonah.
Cash.
This is how devastating PJC is in transition. He sucks the entire defense in, and here's Jonah just sneaky, just being real sly, creeping up to the three-point line, a la Tony Ronaldson used to do back in the day, walked himself right into a triple.
This team is built around Parker Jackson Cartwright. Sobey from outside. And the hot hand looks to have just dried up a touch, and the Breakers with a 1-point lead. King back out to Menenga, can't find the 3. Jonah Bold looks to go 2 for 2 on as many attempts, can't get it to fall, and Geordie Hunter will clean it up. Walton Jr. finds Hurt in the middle.
Breakdown on the ball screen, defense by the Breakers. Good pass by D. Walt.
Derek Walton Jr. yet to score in this game. One of the most proficient scorers we've seen. Affects the games in all areas. Still yet to hit the scoreboard. Menenga matched up with Hurt. He's the bigger body of the two. And he uses it to go all the way there.
Good body shot work. They had the Phoenix in a switch, and Derek Walton quickly got out of the way. But they still went to Sam Menenga down low, and he used all his biceps and pectorials to get a tough bucket.
Phoenix are a man down. Hurt gets the smaller King on the block, and we said he does it from the inside and the outside, and he gets it done there.
Post work.
So we look at the Amy replay right here. Hurt just manages to scrape by an inch into the statistical category of a dunk.
Not known for his athleticism, but just known for his scorericism. He's a score assist, is what he is.
You may have just invented something there, don't you? Can't get the and one completed. Back to a 1-point lead for the Phoenix. PJC. Menenga gets him up into the air. Euro step into the paint. Can't fall, but King will try to clean it up. Loses it on the way through. Tom, the Breakers' defensive end, what are you seeing?
Yeah, look, the buckets are flowing a little bit freer in this third quarter, which we love to see, but unfortunately for the Breakers defensively, their coverage is just struggling a little bit with consistency. We've seen some hard shows and some rejects, some switches. Looks like they're just searching for a cover that works for them right now, and unfortunately, the cover of Parker Jackson Cartwright picking up full court is always a good option, but in the half court, they need to do a better job.
Tom, I don't know, was there any handover, like when Modi left, was there any discussion with him and Coach Coppinen about the team? And because that was basically Modi's team, right?
Yeah, well, Coach Modi recruited a lot of these players before he left to Japan, so I'm not sure if there was any conversations or not, but tough position for Coach Kopp to come in as a first-year head coach and inherit a team that was basically chosen by someone else. But I know that he loves these guys, and the guys so far love playing for him, so hopefully the Breakers can continue to play well for their coach.
Certainly is tougher. The roster is built for someone else. Menenga goes upstairs, can't get it. And Foxwell will take it away. Glover. Works baseline and will pick up the foul.
The pace on both teams have definitely picked up. I figured it would. Just law of percentages. You can't just shoot that kind of percentage and have a 66 to 64 game. So it's good to see both teams ticking the scoreboard over a little bit.
Foxwell to inbound. Hunter goes through the chest to Gillespie. Uses the bigger body to all of his advantage right there.
Post work. Do not forget about the big dudes being able to just get the ball, Felix, and just go one-on-one on the block. In the post. Those easy buckets.
Throw back to a bit of old school basketball. Less threes, more post work. As Mooney continues the woes from outside, PJC. Working, handling, steps back. Can't get it to go, and Glover will take it away. A bit of manhandling off the ball there from Parker Jackson Cartwright.
You look out there on the floor right now, Jonah Bolden has got real active. He's already got 7 boards. He's crashing the boards because he's athletic. He's an athlete. He's tall.
We'll have to see the Amy replay here because an unsportsmanlike foul off the ball on Parker Jackson Cartwright on the young Foxwell. We'll just see what was happening. Just a little grab there.
Foxy was sly like a fox. He sucked him in a little bit. He put some mayo on it, got himself to the strike. Whatever, man. Do what you got to do, Foxy. But look at the backcourt right now for the Phoenix. You got Derek Walton Jr. and Nathan Sobey off the floor. Now, I'm not saying Phoenix they're supposed to play 40 minutes a game. But to have them both off at the same time, I think coaches got so much depth. There's too much depth to work with. You can put anybody out there. I would like to see at least one of them a major ball handler on the floor and score at any one time.
Pettery with a little to work out on the offensive end, just the 44 points for the Breakers, but luckily for them. Southeast Melbourne also struggling from the outside as Foxwell gets into the paint and Lopez sends it away upstairs.
Somebody Google how you say get that out of here in Spanish.
Mooney just using that little crowd dribble, gets to the floater, and it's good.
He's crafty.
Karim Lopez just oozing with potential, so young. Still 2 years until he's draft eligible. He's with this Breakers game for 2 seasons. Glovers gets into the inside. Lopez can't find that one.
Helped out by a sneaky Jordy Hunter Shepard. Got Angus Glover on the rim.
Lopez takes it baseline hard. And Jordy Hunter will send him to the line.
Jordy!
Don't forget to download the NBL app. Breaking news, direct to your device, scores, news, everything you need. On that nice little QR code right there, scan it, and you won't even need us anymore. It's all right within that app.
Box out!
Now, Tom, you know a thing or two about being an up-and-coming star in this league. What do you see from Karim Lopez?
Look, it's a tough challenge, isn't it, coming into a league as a youngster, going up against grown men. And I think defensively, that end of the floor is where Karim Lopez is really going to have to prove he can handle himself if he's going to get consistent minutes for the Breakers this season. We saw Angus Glover just go right at him at the last possession. He's got the length, he's got that athleticism, but there's so much more to defense as well. He's going to need to prove it consistently on that end of the floor.
Little back pass there from McCarron. Finds Mooney for the triple.
Mitch McCarron was thinking about that behind the back pass before he even got there. That's Mitch McCarron at his best. Matt Mooney running the floor. And just to Abercrombie's point on just a young fella, one thing about the Breakers, when they get a young next star, he gets minutes. They're not going to just sit him on the end of the bench. They're going to use him.
Speaking of next stars, Lewis gets a bucket of his own.
Next star on next star crime right there, Malik. A very smooth and poised young dude.
The next stars are coming out to play at Spark Arena. McCarron finds Mooney again, turns down the 3 this time. McCarron forced to throw one up. Rims out, Lopez with the board, he'll go to the line.
Bueno trabajo, mi amigo. I said good job. That's what I said, Felix.
I hope you said it.
No, that's what I said.
I really hope that's what you said, because otherwise we might be out of here by the 4th quarter.
because this is good work right now by the Breakers. Because right now, this is the thing, with Jordy Hunter being the only center on the team, only guy with that, you know, a 7-footer. Matt Hurt is 6'9"-ish. They come in with Todd Vodanovich for some extra girth. But Breakers got the size advantage. With Freddie Gillespie at 6'10", 6'11". Same thing with me and Migo at 6'10", 6'11". This is when they can take advantage of the Phoenix on the glass.
Well, Mike Kelly can sense this run coming from the Breakers as they complete the free throw. And Nathan Sobey and Derek Walton Jr. back into the game, a 3-point lead. And that man right there, the next stack, Grim Lopez, with some great minutes. Walton Jr. still remarkably scoreless, just the 4 shot attempts.
I heard there's a column running that you can find yourself in that column if you're a superstar and you out there with 2 or 4 points.
Certainly may end up on the NBL website as Sobey looks to work from the outside, gets it to go.
Nice hit by Sobes. Mitch McCarron fell asleep.
And Mike Kelly called for reinforcements from his superstars and they answered. Mooney, fresh off a make. Finds Gillespie in the middle. Too big for Walton Jr.
You can hear Mike Kelly on the sideline yelling out ice, Flawless. Basketball purists, we all know what that is. They reject, now you let them use the ball screen. As Derek Walton
still can't open his account.
Shoots another off shot, but yeah, they're trying to keep the ball to one side of the floor. So ball screens are not as effective. And so far, like right here, letting Matt Mooney. Now if it gets down too deep, they switch it. And right now, this is bad offense by the Breakers.
Breakers just finding a bit of terminal offense. Mooney, up fake. Gets that one to fall.
But some dudes can make chicken salad, Felix.
The Breakers finding something out of nothing on that possession. Walton Jr. fade away on Gillespie, opens his account as Gillespie throws his head back.
That's a tough shot.
Certainly not someone you want to be finding a hot hand late in this game. As McCarron blocked on the inside and it comes off him, going the Phoenix way.
You can see the Breakers are comfortable with Freddie Gillespie switching on ball screen, switching out there on guards. He's immobile, he can move his feet. Everything was good. Little slight push off by Derek Walton, but you got to watch out, man. Them guards from Michigan, Fizz, I'm trying to tell you, they all tough.
Walton Jr. again. Oof. Works on Gillespie, little cross back. And he likes this matchup. Gillespie's already showed he can move his feet. Walton Jr. turns it down, finds Hurt. Can't get that to go.
2 for 1 if they want it.
30 seconds left in this third quarter. Gillespie finds it upstairs. Great pass from Matt Mooney.
Nice slip by Freddie Gillespie. That's the one thing about this little icing ball screen D. The big man gets a run at the basket. If there's no weak side help, that's just an easy pass to the big. What do you reckon, Felix? First team to 75 wins?
To 75 wins.
First team to 75 wins the game. It's not a 75-game season.
I better consult the schedule here, David Lowry, but I think if you get to 75 wins, you might be all right. But it certainly has been a war of attrition so far, a second difference between the shot and the game clock, or even less. Derek Walton with the ball in his hands. Finds Hurt down low. He'll go to the free throw line there, the foul from Dane Pinot. Matt Hurt having himself a game, leads all scorers with 16.
They decided that time, the Breakers, to trap Derek Walton's ball screen, but he's a great passer. Went straight to Hurt. Hurt gets himself on the foul line.
Matt Hurt, most impressive of this Southeast Melbourne clan across these first 2 games. Continuing into his third. Gets the first to go. The Hungry Jacks will grow wanting. Can't get the second to go. 2 seconds on the game clock, and the foul from Nathan Sobey will be called on the floor. Neither team in the bonus.
Smart
You would
foul.
consider it a smart foul. 0.4 on the clock. Not much you can do with that.
Because 3 seconds is plenty of time for PJC to get down the floor.
The game clock will be moved to 1.3 seconds. A little bit more to work with. But you're still hoping for a prayer, Damon.
Yeah, I'm still backing from here. One dribble. Pull up from half court.
Just make him catch it in front of you, no foul. Make him catch it going that way.
That's the sage advice from Mike Kelly is no foul. McCarron to inbound. Finds
That's
Mooney
a
with
great pass. That's
Gets
a
it
great
to go
pass.
with a bucket on the siren of the third quarter. Matt Mooney with the quarterback-esque pass from Mitch McCarron. A 1-point lead to the New Zealand Breakers. Fourth quarter coming up next.
It's all about family, isn't it? Isn't it, Jim? It's all about family. And the last one. Oh! It's Cheeky Nakia! Right, cut the music, cut the music. Let's look at that scoreboard. Your New Zealand Breakers trailing for the whole game, but leading into the fourth quarter.
Nathan Sobey has been the talk of the last week, struggling to find his feet, but today, 15 points, 6 of 13, and a couple of huge scoring runs just when the Breakers need it. Damon Lowry, the Phoenix new recruit and superstar, finding his feet just when they need it.
Absolutely, 15 points at 46%, getting on the rim. That's how he gets himself involved in the game. We all know he's like a 90% free throw shooter, so as long as Sobey's attacking the hoop, his teammates are doing a good job putting him in areas of his strength. Now what they got to do is make sure it doesn't go too terminal, still get everybody else involved. I'm looking at Derek Walton Jr. He needs a big quarter.
Sobey doing on the defensive end as well. Was looking like it was going to be a Southeast lead heading into the break, but heroics as PJC through the middle, too quick and too good. Mitch McCarron with the heroic quarterback pass on the buzzer of the third quarter to get Matt Mooney open to take the lead, and it's a 3-point lead now for the Breakers. Sobey from the corner. Cash.
That was a classic type Steph Curry-esque dribble on the baseline, kick it out, keep moving, relocate to the corner three ball. They relax for a minute, and that's all Sobey needed. Just like that, up to 18.
Pettery Coppin will not be happy with his Breakers unit, leaving Sobey so wide open in the corner. Mooney. Explorative dribble, comes up with a floater. Tom, Matt Mooney showing us some good signs. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, Matt Mooney up to 15 points now in this one, all coming bar that too in that third quarter. Looked a lot more comfortable out there. He's found his feet and just showing his poise, especially coming off on balls. I think he's showing that poise and veteran presence. He's a guy who's played all over the world, very comfortable with the ball in his hands and looking more comfortable in Breakers colours as this thing goes along.
He certainly is. He's looking comfortable in Breakers colours. And finally for the Phoenix, Nathan Sobey looking at home in that green and white.
Working ball screens, getting downhill, being patient, not letting everything come to him. Confidence is a big thing, too. We've all been there. You've probably been there more than me. But sometimes when things ain't going your way, you tend to press. You tend to maybe lose a little bit of belief in yourself. Sometimes basketball can be a confident game. But if you just focus on other areas, look at that. That's his average from last season. 20 points, 8 of 15 from the field, getting to the stripe. That's the Nathan Sobey that we all know.
Started the game 1 for 4, Nathan Sobey. Now 8 for 15. Menenga. Mooney, 15 points on his own there, finds PJC. 1 point lead to the Phoenix. And the moving screen, a little too much there from Sam Menenga. Was it head-high contact? We'll find out.
You just never quite know sometimes. One thing guys have learned how to do in the league is fall really good. Like, oh no. I can laugh here.
Unless there's a sniper in the building, David Lowry.
Come on. Throw the challenge flag. I can laugh at my man from Michigan. But yeah, referees sometimes get sucked in. And we got some good actors in the league.
Derek Walton Jr. certainly earns his way to the ball there. It's a game of inches, this one. You'll take any advantage you can get. Hunter, a big first half. Continues it with a hard bucket there.
Lucky for the Phoenix that Jordy Hunter is skilled enough, got good footwork enough to make something out of nothing. You see he had the ball, he thought, oh, shoot, oh hell, what am I doing with it in this spot? Whoops.
Mooney. Can't complete those end of third quarter heroics on that one. And Mike Kelly just imploring the Phoenix to continue to push. Sobey from deep. Wieskamp will clean it up and look to have an attempt of his own. Tough game from outside the arc for both of these teams. Antisevich can stroke it from outside.
Yes,
does so right there.
Yes, he can. The former Southeast Melbourne Phoenix didn't get a whole lot of opportunity when he was in the heartland, but he can shoot it. And that shot by Joe Wieskamp, that was a shot as if to say, I haven't had a shot in a while. And he's a great shooter, but the Phoenix got to find a way to get him more involved.
Wieskamp turns it down. And Sobey from the logo gets that one to go from Bunnings Warehouse.
Okay.
And he is finding himself a 3-point lead, 24 points to Nathan Sobey.
A scorer is going to score. It's only a matter of time.
King can't get the answer back.
In transition, here he comes.
Walton Jr. just with the 2 points on the night, and it'll remain that way. Matt Mooney getting in the line of fire for the offensive foul. And some would say some sweet revenge for a flop there for Breakers fans.
Derek Walton, man, come on, man. If it was good for the goose,
it's good
there
for the
it comes
gander.
down.
King gets it inside, and Wieskamp throws it out of there.
Oh, Wheezy. Permission to call you Wheezy. We ain't having that over here, he said.
We look at the Amy replay of this one. And Wieskamp, not quite known for his athleticism, but Mojave King puts it on a platter for him right there. PJC to inbound. Just been a little bit quiet in this fourth quarter, PJC.
Sam Menenga's got the mismatch, calling for it.
Darling finds him. And Menenga might have gotten away with a hook. But it doesn't matter because that's a 2-point bucket. This is a 1-point ball game. A little over 6 minutes remain. Sobey. Breakers looking to go 2-0. As Sobey draws the foul on Mojave King, much to his own personal disgust.
See, this is where it's tough. Sobey's rolling. He's getting on the rim. He's getting himself to the free throw line. But you got to be careful. It's almost like if you do it too much, if you do it too early, like if they don't call that foul, nobody's touched the ball. Now, I'm no coach, but I feel like some more ball movement in that situation, let the defense move around a little bit, then go to Sobey, let him do that, it might be a little bit easy. But right now, going into the teeth of the defense, it is difficult.
I'm no coach, says the Olympic 3-on-3 women's coach. That's one you don't hear every day right there. But we have a look at the Mitsubishi Motors threes as well, because we're keeping track of them, all thanks to Mitsubishi Motors, the leaders right now. None from this game because it hasn't exactly been a light-up effort from outside of Rob Edwards. Boy, as he stepped up with Taron Armstrong, got Bryce Cotton, of course. Could we have anyone else? DJ, Keandre Cook, and Jalen Adams knocking it down from outside as Nathan Sobey 0 for 2 from the three-point line, and he giveth and he taketh.
Wow. And no burgers over there neither. Sorry, don't know what to tell you.
1 point lead to the Phoenix. McCarron. King, the high-pressure three.
I'm gonna have to go to the Hall of Fame breaker. Tom, like when you couldn't get a bucket, what was something that you guys would go to make sure you guys got yourselves some continuity, got yourselves a good look?
Sobey from deep, can't get that to fall. I think the answer to that question to Tom would probably be Tom Abercrombie himself.
Yeah, good time the ball.
Little over 5 minutes remain. Wieskamp turns down the deep look. And Damon, who do you want to see get their hands on the ball at this stage of the game?
I wouldn't mind Matt Hurt getting a touch, but right now it's just going a little bit too terminal.
Tough turnover for Sobey. McCarron the other way. Wieskamp will make sure that's not an and one. But Tom, have you had a little chance to just digest that question there from Damon Lowry?
Yeah, sorry about that, fellas, but it's a great question. I think the Breakers' identity down the stretch here will be tested. Memories of last game will come back, that 26-point lead that they had going into the fourth quarter, which dwindled down to 3. Certainly executing down the stretch would have been a major focus for them in the lead up to this one. So how they execute this last 4 minutes going to be really important. I think if it's me, you want the ball in your best players' hands. You want it in Parker Jackson-Cartwright's hand and Matt Booty. Those two playmakers making plays for themselves and for others.
Certainly plenty of options. We'll take a quick break at this Tangerine timeout.
Angle. Okay.
Mike Kelly just working his team. Of course, Nathan Sobey, the hot hand, but you see, he giveth and he taketh. He's a superstar in this league, and you take the good with the bad at times.
Sometimes your strength can be your weakness, and right now, it depends timing. You got to make sure you got to be methodical in this situation. A bad shot is just like a turnover. And that last shot that Sobey, he tried to make something happen. There was no ball movement. He turns the ball over. Next thing you know, they're in defensive transition, and they're fouling. So offensive execution is going to be huge for both teams for this last 5 minutes.
Well, this game has been neck and neck ever since that 10-point lead at the end of the first quarter for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. The Breakers fought back, and they've been able to just hold neck and neck since then. As McCarron will go to the line. Mitch McCarron, the chance to tie it up and take the lead. For the Breakers, Pettery, if you're sitting there with the clipboard, which you do at times, Damon Lowry, what does he need to do here?
He's got to make sure they get good shots. Now, I like having PJC and Mitch McCarron on the floor at the same time. Mitch McCarron is obviously a passer, can score, but I feel like the offense is safer when Mitch is on the floor, especially in closing. This last 5 minutes, this is the closing time. You want your best 5 out there. Jonah Bolden's out there right now. Hopefully he can still be as active as he was earlier on the offensive glass. But they only want to play with 4.
A bold move there from Mike Kelly. We see just coming out of the timeout. Let's just got to have a casual reminder there that it is a little easier with 5. Foxwell, and you can see the trust that Mike Kelly has in his young guard right now, putting him out in crunch time. Hurt finds Glover on the outside. He's got the clutch gene in him. It doesn't come out to effect there.
Yeah, Mike Kelly's going to young Foxy because Derek Walton is not having a great night.
Big call from Mike Kelly. Menenga can't get it to fall. And PJC, of all people, will come up with the rebound and get the putback.
Now, see, this is when it's late. PJC kicks it out. Menenga misses it, but Jonah Bolden, you missed it. Jonah got a hand to it, deflected it. PJC ends up with it. Little deflection right here by Jonah. Maybe friendly fire with on Foxwell, but offensive rebounds. They got the shot they wanted. Phoenix got to clean up the glass. Remember Pete? Oh, no. Felix.
My word.
I said 75 points.
You did say that in this
First to 75 points, Felix. Do they win?
Well, I'll have to argue against you here because we've got a little over 4 minutes to go in this ball game. Glover. Walton Jr. back into the game. Hard drive middle. Might have gotten away with one there. Walton Jr., the aggressive show from Gillespie. Glover from deep. Rattles out.
In and out. We've all seen Angus knock that shot down, but that was tough sledding.
Way too easy for Parker Jackson Cartwright on the pull-up. And a 5-point lead to the Breakers. A little under 4 minutes remain.
The mid-range jump shot is not dead. I don't care what the majority of Australia basketball people think. If they're going to play a drop defense like that, PJC comes off that, that's basically a layup for him. So they're going to have to make some decisions right now. There's the 75 points, Felix.
So you're calling this
I'm saying over, right now, Breakers got all the momentum right now. Phoenix don't know who to go to. What they're doing right now has got really terminal, a lot of ball screens, and one thing I don't like is a guard. I'm running the ball screen early, and I'm going to get trapped. And now I got to get rid of it.
Well, let's have a listen into Pettery.
Ready to rotate. Miss, you good? You need one or no? First, next play. We coach in with Matt. But Matt, speed, no contact. No contact? No. Go. Look if you can attack Walton. If nothing, you come back. And Freddie, full speed. Parker, attack.
If Walton is not guarding you, you bring him to contact. Come on, no, we other than Walton. If Walton is not defending you, you bring Walton with contact. Go. Together on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Wow. Did you hear that, Felix Van Hoff? Who do they want in the action?
Walton Jr.
They called his name. They said, put Derek Walton Jr. in the action. That is defensively disrespectful to Derek Walton. So now, right now, we're going to see next possession. Can he get a stop?
Well, he's going to get a chance on the offensive end first. New Zealand has called the number of Derek Walton Jr. on the defensive end. 5-point lead to the Breakers. Hunter can't get it to go. Both teams will fight for the board. Gillespie will come up with it.
All right, we're going to see. Will they execute?
And right now, Mooney likes the matchup with Hurt. Bolden.
Here he is, that SOB, that son of Bruce. That's the NBA dude I know.
Jonah Bolden pushes it to an 8-point lead for the Breakers, who are on the verge of going 2-0 in NBL25.
And you see, Felix, now Phoenix come down, get a real quick shot. Nobody touches the ball in 3 seconds. Now you're back on defense. There's no need to panic.
The Breakers in absolutely no rush right now. PJC finds Gillespie for the mid-range. Much needed buckets down the stretch now for Southeast Melbourne. Sobey working, finds the foul on Gillespie. Tom, you were listening into Mike Kelly in the previous timeout.
Yeah, fellas, it's a little hard to hear. It's pretty loud and rowdy in Spark Arena right now. The Breakers faithful are up on their feet. But it was quiet that timeout. Just seemed like the Phoenix just searching for something right now. They're 8 points down with 2.5 minutes to go in this one. They need to make something happen pretty soon. That two-man game with Geordie Hunter and Nathan Sobey was a focus for them. Let's see if they go back to that.
Loud and rowdy. We might have to make our way down there. Damon Lowry.
They're probably loud because they chanting Tom's name.
Sobey gets it in the corner, kicks it to Wieskamp, who gets that to fall. A much-needed bucket to stem the bleeding for South East Melbourne.
Great extra pass by Sobey, because this guy right here, Joe Wieskamp, Smoking Joe or Wheezy, permission.
I'm not sure whether he wants to roll with either of those.
But he can stroke. A good pass by Geordie Hunter, an extra pass. That's nothing but net.
Big shot just when they need it there from Joe Wieskamp. Just the 9 points on the night, 3 for 6.
Let the ball do the work, Felix. Let it live. Get it through some hands. There's plenty of time left. Terminal basketball is not good right now.
Tom, 16 seasons with the Breakers. You've been around games like this in every single situation. If you're the New Zealand Breakers right now, how are you trying to close this one out?
Look, they just need to stay controlled. I think they've been a lot more poised in the second half, but they need to stay controlled and poised in their execution down the stretch. A 5-point lead, 2.5 minutes to go. Still plenty of time for the Phoenix to come back in this one. So they want to focus on getting good quality possessions down the stretch and just feed off this crowd. The crowd's starting to get into it. The energy's here. It's their first home game at Spark Arena for the season. So they want to finish this one off with a win.
And I hate to throw you into enemy territory, but you're holding the whiteboard for South East Melbourne. Which way are you leaning?
Well, I think Sobey has had the hot hand in the second half. Let's go back to him. He's got 24 points in this one, and he's starting to show why he's going to be the leader of this team throughout the season. So I think that two-man game, as we alluded to before, between Sobey and Geordie Hunter has been really good. See what comes out of that.
Well, Sobey's been the star of the two-headed monster that is that backcourt of Derek Walton Jr. and Nathan Sobey. Walton Jr. just struggling, 1 of 7 from the floor. New Zealand with a 5-point lead. Mooney hit a big shot on the third quarter time buzzer. Can't find Gillespie. PJC will come up with it. Circus basketball ends up in the hands of Jonah Bolden. And that one will stay with the Breakers. 14 seconds on the shot clock with the half reset.
That was a good aggressive defense by the Phoenix. They couldn't come up with the board. Mike Kelly's yelling out red, red. Obviously, that's a trap the ball screen with PJC. They just couldn't clean up the glass. Jackson
Cartwright. New Zealand mentioned they want that matchup with Derek Walton Jr. and he gets it here. Just step back, drops it.
Is the mid-range dead?
The mid-range is well and truly alive at Spark Arena. Walton Jr., there's ever a time to find his shot, it's now. Looks to work on the taller Bolden. Turns it down, Hurt. Gets to the fadeaway, can't get it to fall, and New Zealand will come up with the rebound. A little over a minute remains. The Phoenix with a loss here will fall to 0-3 to start off this NBL season, and the magnifying glass will further intrude into their camp. PJC gets in, blocked. Sobey will take it away. Do or die for the Phoenix, and it does not get easier than that. But Nathan Sobey's blown the layup. And has he blown the game?
That wasn't why they're going to probably lose this game, because it's hard to win when you're down 7 with only 45 seconds to go. But I feel like overall offensive execution late in this fourth quarter came back to bite the Phoenix.
And Sobey, who's played a fantastic game on both ends of the floor, got teammates involved. That's the one that he's going to remember. And sometimes it can just be a little bit too easy, Damon Lowry.
It looked like he was going too fast. Normally that's a two-handed dunk. We've all seen that too many times, but for whatever reason, got himself probably a little bit too under the basket, but
36 seconds remain. The Breakers in no rush. 7-point lead. PJC down the middle. Gets it up, can't fall. And the Breakers need to do it, and they need to do it quick. Wieskamp. Taking his time, draws the foul. And right now, Damon, you said first to 75 wins this game.
What did I say, Felix?
First and 75, and you are looking like somewhat of an oracle.
Yeah, now I just can feel it. I can feel it in my water, but PJC kept the door open a little bit with that quick shot. You need offensive execution at its highest to close out games, and quick shots is the only way the Phoenix can get back in it. He should have used up more clock right there, whereas obviously now the Phoenix got to make these free throws and then foul straight away.
Clock will be adjusted to 20.8 seconds. 11 rebounds for Joe Wieskamp. Just 27.3% from the three-point line for the Phoenix. Always tough to win a basketball game in the modern era. Shooting those type of numbers.
Yeah, you got to find other ways to win if you're going to be shooting bad.
Derek Walton Jr., of course, with a game to forget for their superstar, a guy that many predicted to be in the MVP conversation, still very may well be. But this game will not add to that collection. 2 points, 1 of 7 from the field. 3 turnovers and the 4 fouls. Wieskamp can't get that ball.
Wow.
Lewis will come up with a rebound and get it to fall. 19 seconds on the clock. And we've got ourselves a 4-point ball game. And remember, Damon Lowry, the New Zealand had Brisbane on the ropes to the tune of 26 points. And that one whittled itself back to a 3-point lead late.
This is what Coach Coach Kopp was talking about. They got to be able to close out games. It's not enough to play for 3.5 quarters and then let it fall. That was huge right there, but missed free throw, and you give up the offensive rebound. That, as we all know, will drive a coach absolutely crazy.
Bettery potentially getting flashbacks to that last game for the Breakers right now that we're so early in the season. But so important, as Tom Abercrombie mentioned earlier in the broadcast, to go 2-0 and be rolling into that USA trip that's going to miss 2 rounds of the NBL season with the mood high is a lot different to stewing over a loss on that 15-hour flight.
Absolutely. There's nobody's going to be playing their best basketball this early in the season. The Illawarra Hawks, except them. But everybody else, you gotta bank wins though. Everybody right now is trying to work out the rotations, work out the kinks in their team. They got to find ways to win.
4-point lead to the Breakers. They'll have the ball in hand. 19.6 seconds remain. 14 on the shot clock.
Oh my God, get the ball.
The Southeast doing a good job of pressuring the ball. Mooney finds himself in a trap. Menenga comes up with it. And the Breakers just managing to evade the pressure.
Oh my God. How much time went off the clock before we got the foul?
Southeast Melbourne, they amped the pressure up with the Breakers, whether it be luck or skill, managed to evade it.
That's a blunder by the Phoenix. They blew a whole lot of time as Derek Walton has a seat.
After a game to forget for Derek Walton Jr., 2 points, 1 of 7 from the field, and in a game where they desperately needed to score like this.
With fouls in hand, that should have been an immediate foul. Now they're going to have to do it again.
A minimum 2-shot ball game right now for the Phoenix to get back into this. Breakers to inbound. And the refs just having a little trouble with the shot clock. Timeout, New Zealand. They'll want to make sure that they don't turn this one over. And Pettery, as you can imagine, after that last game against Brisbane, the Tangerine timeout, probably not a bad idea to just steady the ship a little.
And how many times have we seen in NBL24 teams late in games just could not inbound the ball? Simple as out of bounds. All you got to do is get it in. They're going to foul you, but we saw a whole bunch of wild endings last year.
Certainly did, and this is the last game of the second round of this NBL season. Plenty coming up in round 3. The Harvey Norman schedule right there. Thursday night, 36 is taking on the Phoenix. As you look up and down that roster right there, what jumps out to you?
Wow, I mean, every game is almost a must-win game. That sounds weird, but I'm looking at that Sunday late game. Tasmania Jack Jumpers and the Perth Wildcats. Perth coming off a very, very tough loss to Sydney. Jack Jumpers had a great win on a banner night, so that looks like the marquee game of the round for me.
The Wildcats also coming up against Melbourne United Friday. The late one there, plenty There is no games you can give up, and we look at the way this thing rolls out towards the end of the season. It's the closest league in the world. There's 1 or 2 games that separates almost 6th to 2nd.
I said on overtime, when I came to your guys' house on the set, somebody's going to be stiff to miss out this year on the finals.
Who left the door open and let you in there? Pettery's come up with a plan. Can the Breakers execute it and get this ball in bounds?
Wow.
Southeast apply the pressure. A 5-second violation fresh off the timeout. And the slim hope of survival here for Southeast Melbourne remains.
Is it last year? What year is this? How come we just can't get the ball in?
Welcome to the NBL.
Quick 5 seconds. This is not
Tom,
5 seconds.
We're trying to break down what exactly was meant to happen there. Pettery says that was a quick 5 seconds. What are your thoughts?
It certainly seemed like a pretty quick 5 seconds, but the play was for Parker Jackson-Cartwright to scream up the middle there and get the ball. But when he was denied, the backup option just wasn't there for the Breakers, and they got caught out by, as you said, that rather quick call.
Certainly wasn't, and it'd be one to look back on, but of course, it's the second 5-second violation we've seen in this game. And Pettery, we just mentioned, going on to that 15-hour flight with the vibes high and the mood good, maybe a couple of drinks flowing. There might be a film session down the back end of that plane if they can't come away with this.
What is with all these intricate plays to get the ball in? I gotta set a double stagger, curl, flash up, just walk up and stick your hand out.
Because, Damon, back in your day, you could put an elbow to the neck and say, get out of my way, and then go and grab the ball. It's a little more intricate these days. I've seen some of your highlights, and that was some physical basketball. Southeast Melbourne are inbound, 9.3 seconds on the clock. It's a 2-shot ball game, a 4-point lead to the Breakers. Southeast get it in. They find Hurt. He can stroke it from outside. He gets it to drop.
Good
a
grief.
1-point ball game.
Good grief.
And Max Darling's pulled up Hurt. But the New Zealand Breakers right now trying to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
For the 2nd week in a row. Look at all this intricate play, and all of a sudden, Matt Hurt just said, just give me the ball. Just give it to me. One dribble. Take the 3 ball. Yeah!
And now we look back to that missed layup from Nathan Sobey, and you start to think, will it be pivotal? But the butterfly effect, the game changes. There is 5.7 will be put back onto the clock here. A 1-point lead to the Breakers. They've struggled to inbound the ball under the Southeast pressure the previous 3 times.
Something wild's gonna happen. Guaranteed.
PJC gets it in. And the foul from Nathan Sobey will send Parker Jackson-Cartwright to the free throw line to turn this into a 2, a 3, or even keep it at a 1-point game.
Parker Jackson-Cartwright is 4 of 4 from the free throw line with 4.4 seconds to go on the clock. Plenty of time left for the Phoenix to either tie or win.
And Mike Cowley will sub Angus Glover into the game. We've seen Angus Glover hit big shot after big shot in the preseason. And Nathan Sobey will be fouled out on that play. So if this game, if we can dare to dream a little bit for the Southeast Melbourne fans, if it does progress to overtime, Southeast Melbourne will be down Derek Walton Jr. and Nathan Sobey.
Yeah, not good.
Big free throws for Parker Jackson-Cartwright. The first is good. 2-point ball game.
5 in a row for the vice president of the Little Big Man Society. We love those clutch situations at the stripe.
5.2 seconds on the clock.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Felix.
0 timeouts either team.
Felix, I'm gonna tell you right now. Parker hits this, you're fouling. Oh no.
The free throw's no good. Antisevich can't come up with the board.
What? Who?
And Matt Hurt has just thrown that one into oblivion.
Oh, wow.
Still with the chance to come up with a steal here. The Breakers look to get it back in. The tough pass. They'll come up with it. Mitch McCarron and the Breakers escape with yet another late game fade out. But Damon Lowry, it doesn't matter because they are 2-0.
That is right. It don't matter how you get it. You just got to get that win in the end. But good grief. You get your money's worth at New Zealand Breaker games.
An unbelievable finish. The Breakers struggled to inbound the ball, and it all came crumbling down with the Phoenix. Matt Hurt coming up with a huge rebound and just a miscommunication.
Sometimes when things are just not going your way, you almost find a way to lose. Sometimes Phoenix played great D for the majority of the game, and they just could not get over the line in the end.
Parker Jackson Cartwright, your Foot Locker player of the game, 19 points, 7 assists and 4 steals, continues to play himself into yet another potential MVP season. He was a nominee last year. He was 11 assists last game, his career high, and he led them from the front. 10 down at quarter time for the New Zealand Breakers. They fought back. It was neck and neck, and what a finish to the final game of the round.
Woof! What a shame I got to go to work in the morning. But hey, that was some good basketball. That was a good round.
An amazing finish. The Breakers hold on. We'll be back to wrap it all up after this break.
Together on 3. 1, 2, 3, together.
I'm here with co-captain Parker Jackson Cartwright. Parker, can you sum up that game in 10 words or less?
Ugly win, but we found a way to do it. You know, we did it by committee. This is more than 10 words, but good win, good win.
And Parker, we know the season is long, but what's it like playing in front of a crowd at Spark Arena?
We got the best fans in NBL. Every game we get in Spark Arena, it matters. We're gonna need all your support. Love you.
Let's hear it for Parker Jackson Cartwright. Thank you. Travel safe and get your tickets for the 19th of October against the Perth Wildcats. 19th of October. Ticketmaster.com.nz.
A wild finish at Spark Arena has resulted in the New Zealand Breakers with a 2-point win over the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. A wild finish there from Wisekamp, and it just summed up the game. Damon Lowry. We look at the full-time stats here. An 81 to 79 point win for the Breakers.
Everything was fairly even throughout. Same amount of assists. Rebounding count wasn't much of a factor. Only one made more field goal than the Phoenix. But I think turnovers in the end. Phoenix had 14 turnovers, but they had 3 in the last quarter, and it was at the wrong time. Not that there's ever a good time. But the New Zealand Breakers, look, you'd rather take an ugly win than a pretty loss any day.
Well, both teams struggled from the three-point line there, and of course, Nathan Sobey finding his feet again. Matt Hurt for the Phoenix. It is a loss, but not all lost in this one.
0-3. Look, you got to look forward to the next round.
That's a tough thing. The Breakers, well, they're off to the United States to play 3 NBL times NBA games. It's all going to be happening over there. Can they return 2-0 and continue to build on that. But plenty of action in this second round of NBL. Thanks to everyone who tuned in, everyone behind the scenes. Round 3 is going to be bringing a whole lot more of that action.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.